The tale of human evolution is more than science. It is a mythos written in bone, carved into stone, whispered across centuries of belief and disbelief. We have always sought to know where we came from, for in that answer lies a prophecy of where we may be going. Yet the path behind us is tangled, and the path ahead shrouded in mist. Are we ascending a staircase toward greatness, or descending into fragility masked as progress? Long before laboratories, long before microscopes and fossils, humanity explained itself through myth. To the Greeks, Prometheus molded men from clay, then defied Olympus by stealing fire, gifting knowledge that would lift mankind, but also curse him with toil and punishment. In Mesopotamia, the Sumerians carved cuneiform tales of the Anunnaki, divine beings who fashioned man as laborers, blending godly blood with earthly dust. The Hebrew scriptures spoke of Adam, shaped from dust and breath, placed in Eden but cast down for disobedience. Chinese legend told of Nuwa, the goddess who molded figures from yellow earth, carefully crafting some while hastily shaping others, an allegory for social difference. Among Native American nations, stories spoke of humanity climbing from beneath the ground, emerging into the light of a new age. Despite their diversity, these myths shared a theme. Humanity began closer to divinity, in harmony, only to fall away into corruption and weakness. The golden age of Hesiod was followed by silver, bronze, and finally iron, each age more violent, more diminished. Decline, not progress, was the rhythm of ancient imagination. These myths still echo today. They haunt us when we wonder if technology brings us closer to gods or if it distances us from our nature. The 19th century shattered myth with a new narrative. Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species, 1859, argued that life was not fixed, but fluid, changing through natural selection. Species adapted, survived, or vanished. In The Descent of Man, 1871, Darwin extended this vision to humans. We were not divine creations apart, but products of the same forces shaping birds, fish, and apes. The idea was explosive. It broke the pedestal on which humanity had placed itself. It suggested that we were not kings of creation, but cousins to chimpanzees and gorillas. And it implied something even darker: if natural selection had lifted us from primitive forms, could it not also send us downward? Darwin was not alone. Jean-Baptiste Lamarck had earlier suggested that organisms could inherit acquired traits, giraffes stretching necks, men adapting to labor. Alfred Russel Wallace independently developed natural selection, though he believed some higher force guided human consciousness. Darwin's synthesis prevailed, but the debates left cracks. What if humans were not merely evolving upward, but wandering in unpredictable directions? As Darwin's ideas spread, the hunt began for fossils that would prove the story. The press and the public demanded the missing link, the halfway form between ape and man. In 1856, a skull was found in Neander Valley, Germany, heavy-browed, strange, unsettling, at first dismissed as pathological. It later became the first recognized Neanderthal. Scientists portrayed them as brutish, dim-witted cavemen. Illustrations showed savage faces, hunched posture, beasts in human skin. They were cast as the primitive stage we had heroically surpassed. But evidence refused to obey simple narratives. Later discoveries revealed Neanderthals with large brains, larger in some cases than ours. They crafted tools, wore ornaments, buried their dead, and perhaps painted caves. And then came the genetic revelation. Neanderthals did not vanish completely. They live in us. Most humans outside of Africa carry fragments of Neanderthal DNA. The wall between them and us crumbled. The missing link was never found because there was never a single link. Instead, there was a tangled web of branches, species overlapping, mixing, vanishing, surviving in fragments. The early 20th century brought more surprises. In Java and China, fossils of Homo erectus revealed beings who walked upright, used fire, hunted, and spread widely. In 1974, in Ethiopia, the skeleton nicknamed Lucy proved that small-brained Australopithecines walked upright millions of years ago. In 2003, on the island of Flores, Indonesia, researchers uncovered tiny humans, Homo floresiensis, just 3 feet tall, yet clever with tools and fire. They lived as recently as 50,000 years ago, a parallel humanity erased not by deep time but almost yesterday. In Siberia, a mere finger bone discovered in Denisova cave unveiled an unknown species, the Denisovans. Though we know little of their appearance, their DNA spreads through modern populations in Asia and Oceania. Another people, another branch, another ghost in our blood. And then came Homo naledi, deep in a South African cave, with evidence of deliberate burials. A small-brained species performing rituals once thought unique to modern humans. The story blurred. Intelligence was not ours alone. Each discovery fractured the clean ladder of progress. Humanity was not one straight ascent, but a crowded field, multiple species walking side by side, competing, cooperating, and blending. A mosaic, not a march. Darwin's theory did not remain in laboratories. It reshaped society. Some thinkers twisted it into social Darwinism, a cruel doctrine justifying imperialism, racism, and exploitation. The strong, they claimed, were meant to dominate the weak. Others seized it to argue for eugenics, the controlled breeding of humanity, a pseudoscience that fueled sterilization campaigns and even genocides. The shadow of Darwin was long and dangerous. Religious institutions fought back. In America, the Scopes trial of 1925, the monkey trial, put evolution on public stage. A teacher, John Scopes, was tried for teaching Darwin in Tennessee. The trial became a spectacle, a clash of modern science and traditional faith. Though Scopes was found guilty, the cultural debate endured, shaping American identity for generations. Even today, the question of evolution in schools sparks lawsuits and legislation. The story of human origin is never just scientific, it is political, spiritual, cultural. At the same time, scientists themselves wrestled with what evolution meant for the future. Were we destined to keep advancing, smarter, stronger, longer lived? Or was civilization shielding us from natural selection, allowing weakness to survive, decline to set in? The Victorians dreamed of endless progress, but they also feared degeneration. Novels like H.G. Wells' The Time Machine imagined futures where humanity split into new species, the delicate Eoi, passive and weak, and the brutal Morlocks, lurking underground. The anxiety was clear. Progress might conceal decay. The further scientists dug into the earth, the more unsettling the picture became. The human story was no longer a single thread, but a tapestry of branches, many vibrant, many broken. The ladder of progress dissolved into a maze of corridors, some leading upward, others ending in darkness. The fossils tell a story, but not the one we expect. Neanderthals lived beside us, not as primitives, but as kin. Denisovans, known only from scraps of bone, left their legacy in our blood. Homo floresiensis survived until almost yesterday. A miniature humanity hidden on a small island. Homo naledi, with small brains yet complex rituals, forced us to reconsider what intelligence even means. And then came the most haunting discovery of all, us. For in comparison to our ancestors, we are smaller. Our brains have shrunk by nearly 10% since the Ice Age hunters roamed. Some scientists say this reflects efficiency, a streamlining of mental architecture. Others warn it may signal decline, loss of resilience, of raw cognitive power. Our bodies, too, revealed troubling signs. We are weaker than the hunter-gatherers who carried spears across continents. Our skeletons are lighter, our muscles smaller. We have traded survival in harsh environments for comfort in cities, protection in machines, and medicine that saves but also shelters us from natural selection. The irony is stark. We, who imagine ourselves the pinnacle of evolution, may be fragile compared to the humans who came before. Progress and weakness walk side by side. As evidence mounted, scientists and philosophers debated what it meant. Were we evolving upward, toward higher intelligence, greater cooperation, a brighter destiny? Or were we sliding downward, Becoming dependent, domesticated, vulnerable without the technology we create? Some point to medicine and culture as triumphs of evolution by other means. We survive diseases that once wiped out whole villages. We extend life far beyond the expectations of our ancestors. We build civilizations that stretch across the globe, coordinate billions, and touch the stars. Others warn of decline. Modern humans outsource memory to machines, navigation to satellites, decision-making to algorithms. Where once survival demanded sharp senses, now we depend on fragile systems. If they fail, would we endure or collapse? Even language reflects this tension. Our ancestors painted on stone, their words echoing across millennia. We store our knowledge in digital clouds, vast but vulnerable, a flicker of electricity away from silence. Have we gained permanence or fragility? History offers its warnings. Civilizations have risen and fallen, each believing itself eternal. Sumer, Egypt, Rome, the Maya, all flourished, then faltered. Their bones lie beneath deserts, their temples swallowed by jungle, their languages left to scholars and silence. Why should we be different? Our towers rise higher, our networks span the globe, our weapons carry apocalyptic power. Yet the same forces remain: climate shifts, disease, war, hubris. Collapse is not an ancient memory, it is a recurring pattern. And yet, within collapse lies rebirth. From the ruins of Rome rose the medieval world. From the ashes of plague came the Renaissance. From the devastation of war, new sciences, new philosophies. Humanity bends, breaks, but also adapts. Today, the frontier is not new continents but new forms of life, our own. Genetic engineering lets us alter DNA, correct diseases, or even design traits. CRISPR, a molecular scalpel, slices the very code of existence. Artificial intelligence learns, reasons, creates, threatening to surpass its makers. Some imagine we will merge with machines, uploading minds, extending life indefinitely. Others fear we are creating our successors, destined to be replaced as Neanderthals were replaced before. The language is familiar. Once, men feared God's wrath. Now, we fear the machine's indifference. Once, they feared demons whispering in the dark. Now, we fear algorithms deciding our fate in silence. Every age dresses its anxieties in new symbols. But the fear beneath is unchanged, that humanity may not endure, or may endure in a form unrecognizable. And so we return to the haunting question: are we rising or falling? The evidence refuses simplicity. We are smarter than ever, yet perhaps more fragile. We live longer, yet perhaps less resilient. We conquer nature, yet depend utterly on the fragile systems we have built. Perhaps the truth is that evolution is not a ladder but a spiral staircase. Each step seems upward, but the circle brings us back to ancient fears: decline, hubris, collapse. The myths of Hesiod, the Tower of Babel, Prometheus, echoes of the same warning. We want to believe we are chosen, destined for greatness. We fear we are temporary, accidental, replaceable. We long for eternity, but live under the shadow of extinction. The bones of Neanderthals, the ruins of civilizations, the flickering lights of our cities, all whisper the same message: nothing endures forever. And so the final question is not whether we are moving forward or backward. The question is whether we will see the pattern in time. And if we do, will it guide us to salvation, or hasten our destruction?